Yeah, so I'm just curious, has there maybe been kind of like a team motto or anything you've heard in the locker room sprung up since Big 12 play started?
We talked a couple of games ago just about, believing in ourselves and trying to, believe that there's something greater for us than what we're experiencing right now. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan, so we did the whole Ted Lasso thing and just talked about that and just continuing to believe in each other and what we're doing and working hard and trying to find a way to get out of this for sure, out of this little slump that we're in.
Well, and speaking of, is there any maybe specifics on how this locker room has really banded together during this grueling Big 12 schedule you guys have had so far?
I think they've held in there together. I mean, I think they have shown some good unity. I think we've had some really good meetings and good talks, and they all want to do better. They all feel the pressure, and we talked about the pressure has to be there for us to progress and to progress where we want to go, and we have to be willing to face it and to thrive through it. And we can't shy away from it. We can't back down from it, and we got to perform in it. And I think that they're understanding that. I think that our effort and our fight has been there. We just got to believe in ourselves that we can play with these people and that we can score it and that we can win big basketball games.
And when the pressure gets really crazy like this, is there any specific way that you maybe like kind of helps you keep yourself grounded when there's so much, madness in the middle of a crazy schedule like this?
I think just staying positive, right? I mean, I think staying positive, staying true to yourself and what you do. I think that's just a part of life, right? Is that you've got to kind of praise it, if you will. You kind of praise the pressure that you feel and stay on top of it. And again, know where you want to go. Like you can't have high aspirations if you don't go through pressure and if you don't feel that pressure, because that's where you want to be.
What do you most attribute the poor shooting over the past couple of games to?
If I knew that, we would fix it for sure. I do think that I think there's been some times that we've had poor shot selection. I think that we've fixed that some. I think that maybe fatigue at times, but like this point in the year, I feel like we're in a really good place and shape-wise and that we can play the kind of defense that we want to play and be able to shoot the basketball well. I don't know if it's just confidence or what, but it's not from lack of getting reps up. It's not from lack of talking about it, of showing where we can get great shots, and then also encouraging one another. Because I do think the girls have done a great job of being there for one another and trying to lift each other up and celebrating, when they knock down big shots, because they all want to be in those positions and they all feel like they're probably letting us down, and we can't have that. You got to, shooters shoot, and so they've got to be willing to take the next one and being really confident in that situation.
And I know you say every game in Big 12 play is important. Does this one feel a little more important, just considering past couple of weeks and where both these teams are in the standings right now?
Well, I mean, I would say like every game we play has to be important. I mean, it is, and I don't think that you can put a higher value on one than the other. I mean, obviously when they're at home, you certainly want to protect your home court, and it certainly gives you an advantage. And so we want to take advantage of that. But, every time we step out on the floor, we've got to be willing to perform and know that it's a big game because it's Big 12.
Coach, can you talk about Achol and what you saw from her Wednesday night and her productivity kind of moving forward?
Yeah, she understood the scout and the role that she needed to play for us. She was a good matchup for us for inside against Iowa State, and she was able to come in and do exactly what we needed her to do. She would tell you that she would like to have that layup back so she could at least finish that, but I thought that she defended well, rebounded well, and gave us really good minutes. And we'll see. I think it's matchups for us. It's matchups for her. And that was a good matchup.
And then, Bailey and Jazz, how, and this is the $1 million question, right? Getting them both to be in double figures on the same night in Big 12 play.
Yeah, and I think that's tough. To be honest, I really think that falls on the supporting cast as well, because obviously they're going to attract a lot of attention. And so when they do, that opens the door for other kids to step up and to be offensive threats. And so we've been talking about that. We've been working on our spacing better. And also, trying to take some pressure off of Bailey and Jazzy to think that they have to score every time the ball's in their hands. And instead, they really need to attract 2 or 3 defenders and find the open player. And then those open players have to knock down shots. And I feel like the last couple of days in film, they're starting to see that more. Hopefully they will, know that like we want them to step up. We need them to get to their averages. But then they also have to help the others around them score, and those kids have to step up and provide that offensive production as well.
One quick question, Coach. Tomorrow, big 50th anniversary. From your heart, talk about how special that day is for you and everybody who's played with you, before you, and translating that to these young players today on this team. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of tradition in Lady Raider basketball, and to be honest, I was a part of it. I've been a part of it for 30 years, and so that's crazy when you think it's only been around for 50. Jesus, but I would say that I remember growing up and watching the Lady Raiders play when it was new. It was a new program, and I watched Coach Sharp and how she built it, and I dreamt of playing here. And so then to be able to come here and actually play, and then to do what we did as a team, and to be as successful as we were, you just want to pass that along, and you want others to see that same success. And, for a long time, the program did, and I think that's really important, and I think it speaks to Coach Sharp's leadership and to the buy-in of West Texas basketball, and understanding, how valuable that is and how much respect it has. Girls basketball does in West Texas. So now, it's the whole reason what I wanted to come back and coach here as well is to continue to pass on that legacy, and to also just to put the program in a place where the former Lady Raiders can be proud of it, and I know it's been difficult the past couple of years, and it's been difficult to get it back to where it was, but I do think that the girls that we have on our roster really love being Lady Raiders, and I think they understand the tradition and the expectation, and I think that's also why several of them stayed, and this day and age in the transfer portal, it's easy to leave, it's easy to jump ship, and I think they really love what Lady Raider basketball is about, and that's what tomorrow we're going to celebrate, is what Lady Raider basketball is about, and who it's impacted in the past, and how it can impact people in the future. And this present team, I know, will play with a lot of pride and with a lot of fight, and do their very best to represent all that came before them.
Coach, I mean, 50 seasons, that's a big number, and as a former player and now the current head coach, can you talk about the message that you're going to give the team tomorrow night?
I mean, it's kind of what I just talked about. Like, I think that they know. We've talked about it a lot before. We brought former Lady Raiders in before to talk to them, and I think they understand. That's what we sell in the recruiting piece of it, right? Is the tradition and the pillars that we have, and just the foundation that this program was built on. And so I think it's just an opportunity to represent all those that came before you, and to continue to build on the legacy of all the former Lady Raiders and all the success that they've had.
Okay. BYU, what concerns you the most about them?
They play really, really hard, and they play really well together. I think that they understand their roles, and they can shoot the ball well. They've got an inside presence. They just are really scrappy. And I think one of the things that I've noticed about them is that even if you get a lead on them, they always find a way to get in the fight. Like they play extremely hard for 40 minutes. And so we're going to have to match that intensity. We're going to have to match that determination and that fight for 40 minutes. So I think it's just a matter of us seeing some success early and not hanging our heads if the ball doesn't go in the hole, and continuing to fight and know that it's a possession game.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.